Here are 5 habits that can make you a more productive author that have nothing to do with the actual writing process. These are things I do in my own life. They make me way more productive as an author and save me a lot of time and effort. The first of which is that I use my entire world around me as a world study. If you get into your writing and you have a character that has to make a decision or react or interact with something, if they have to engage with the world around them, you have to take the time to stop and think, okay, how would this personality type react to this situation? How would they decide to move forward and take action in this situation? How would they engage with the world around them? You have to think about your character building, your personality building, your world building, your character arcs, because chances are the characters that you're writing are not exactly like you. They would not make the exact same decisions as you. A person who is probably a different age than the characters that you're writing, probably a different life situation, probably a different personality. You're going to have to stop and think about it. So if you haven't done the work in advance, that takes a lot of time and effort to figure out what their next steps would be, because they're not going to be the same as what you would do. Or they're not going to be the same as what you would do in that setting. You're going to have a variety of different things that are wildly different than your life. So you actually have to know what your character would do rather than what you would do. And so using the world around you is incredibly helpful. Take notes. Anytime you see something that could potentially come into play in a book later, write it down so that you have it there so you can very easily reference it or remember it later on. So for example, if you are at a family event and you have 2 cousins that love each other but haven't seen each other in forever. They were basically raised together, but they really, as adults, haven't seen each other for a very long time, and there's some conflict. How are they handling that? How are they engaging? Physically, emotionally, the words that they're saying, what they're doing, who they're talking to, how they're spending time with each other. Pay attention to the people that are very close and how they just wrap their arms around each other, how they touch each other, how they fix each other's hair, how they're very, very comfortable with each other, while people who don't know each other very well or as well are not going to go up and just start preening each other, right? Pay attention to the way that people are behaving. Use the world around you as a world study. This can be as simple as being a passenger in a car and just watching the world around you. How is architecture created and how is it designed to fit the environment around it? What colors are people choosing for things? How are people engaging with the traffic around them? How are they engaging with the weather? How are they engaging with all of these things? Pay attention. Pay attention while you're in school. Pay attention while you're at work. Pay attention to the world around you. People who are close, people who are not close. Conflict, love, different types of emotions. Document all those things. Do it as a character study. Write it all down. And because you're doing that in the moment, you then don't have to really stop to think things through too deeply while you're writing, because you already know. You've already identified those personality types. You understand that this character has these traits, these flaws, these types of actions and engagements. It's very similar to your aunt. It's very similar to your cousin. It's very similar to your friend. It's very similar to that person that you saw at work that one time. You have reference points now, and that'll make it a lot easier to then do your writing so that you don't have to stop and think things through and think of like the 7 different things they could possibly do and which is the best fit for their personality. You already know because you've already done the work. So we are saving ourselves time and effort by treating everything as a world study for our books. I also automate as much of my life as possible. This is such a game changer because I don't have to depend on myself to do everything every single time. And I don't have to depend on a virtual assistant or a personal assistant to do work for me where I am paying them a ton of money to maybe get things done, maybe get things done properly. I automate, I systematize, and I automate everything inside of my business. And I've done videos both on this channel and on my main YouTube channel where I talk about the ways that I am automating and systematizing my business to save myself time, effort, and create more money in my business so that I can go do the things that I love to do. I can do so much now because my business can run by itself in so many different ways and so many different types of things that I don't have to do anymore, nor do I have to pay somebody else to do. I can pay a subscription, which is much lower than paying for a virtual assistant or a personal assistant. I set it up all by myself, and then it can just run. I just have to check in on it from time to time to make sure everything's still good, but it saves so much time and effort and money, and then it also helps to make me money. So I'm looking for ways to systematize and automate what I'm doing. And automations can be on my newsletter, for my welcome sequences for delivering freebies to my readers. My automations, at one time, I did automated games so people could read my books and then go through and play games created around my books and realize they were actually characters in my story and they just didn't know it yet. I can create, systems where people can go through frequently asked questions to then get their questions answered, to get freebies delivered, or to have links given to them. And then if they still need me at the end of that, they can talk to me. It's very easy to set up systems and automations that allow me to do a lot of the heavy lifting and give 80% of the people what it is they need without having to directly talk to me, without me having to do the work for them. They can go through these systems. And then for the 20% that still need something from me, it was just very easily through a little flow that got them directly to me to make sure that I had the information that I needed to be able to give them the answers that they were going to need. I automate things like my book sales. So I am putting out automations where people can go and buy my books and then, oh, hey, did you also want like the rest of the series? Did you want this book that's similar to it? I can do upsells. I've talked about that a lot here on the channel. And that allows me to go through the process of all of the work of selling my books, aside from me packaging them up and actually shipping them out. I can go through and I can automate things like my ads. I'm running ads on books and those things are automated as well. You can add automations to all sorts of really cool things in your Instagram inbox. You can get frequently asked questions answered without having to do them yourself. You do not have to talk to 90% of the people who message you for things because it's already there and they feel like they're talking to you because they are talking to you. You in the past have set these things up, given them the answers that they're going to need. And so you now don't have to lift your fingers to get those things answered. Automations are so good. And I can automate things in little and in big ways. So from my book sales to not dealing with spam emails, to getting frequently asked questions, or to giving away free copies of my books, or to, all sorts of things. There's so many. I've talked about so many of them, but automating things, I can do like 80-85% of my business runs on automations. So I'm paying low prices for the things that I'm using. I'm not having to do VAs or PAs. I am not having to do a lot of the work myself. I can go on vacation. I can do stuff and still make money. My business can still run. It can do so much by simple, very easy automations that anybody, not a techie person, literally anybody can create. Automations are the vibe. So I'll link some of those videos down below for you because I cannot say enough good things about people being successful when it comes to automations. Similarly, I am also creating routine within my day. Routine means you understand how to do something. You kind of have it down to a science so that you don't have to think about it. It takes less time because you do it every single day and you get faster at every single day. So routine is incredibly helpful, especially morning and evening routines. I have so much of my life in a routine that I can just do it on autopilot so that I then can spend my time and effort doing other things. For a lot of my videos, you're going to see the exact very similar outro every single time. I have that down as a routine. So when I get to the end of my videos, I can go on autopilot and already be thinking of the next video while I'm giving you the valuable information at the end that you're going to need on what next steps to take. I also turn my makeup into a routine. I do the exact same makeup look every single day. If you pay attention to my videos, it's always the same. I've done this exact same look since college when I learned how to do this. I haven't changed it. There's maybe a couple of products that over the almost 2 decades I've been out of college have changed just a little bit, but it's pretty much the same. And I can do this very, very quickly because I have a routine. I put everything on in the same order. So I can take my time and do it and get it done in like 10 minutes, or I can go fast and I can get it done really, really quickly and get out of the way. My hair is the same. I am doing things in routine. You can create routine with how you run your morning. So for me, I get up, I walk my dogs, I feed my dogs, I grab something for me to eat, I very quickly do my makeup, I check my emails, all of those things, and I knock my morning routine out very quickly so that I can then handle the rest of the stuff that I'm doing. You can do this for how you are getting ready for bed at the end of the night. I have a nighttime routine with my dogs where I get them ready for bed and I do their bedtime routine, and then I spend time working on my own because my girls go to bed a little bit earlier than I do. And so creating routine allows you to just slip into the science of it. If you understand the way that you are washing the dishes the exact same way every single night, it makes it easier, right? If you understand how you're closing down your house at the end of the evening and how you're cleaning things and getting things ready and turning off the lights, it just makes it easy to go on autopilot and to do that. If you understand the routines that you have created in terms of how you are getting yourself ready or accomplishing tasks, you can just do it very, very quickly. I have routines for how I get ready to film my videos. And so when it's time to film, I have everything ready to go. I can just knock that out real quick, sit down and film a bunch of videos. Routine is your friend. Do you want routine for everything? No. Do you need routine for everything? No. Is it safe to have routine for everything? No. As a woman, no. But you want to make sure certain things have routines. So while I don't have an ultimately controlled morning, I do have facets of it that have routines built within it. So when I go into that, I can just very quickly do that and get it out of the way. And then I can go faster or at a normal rate, depending on what I need for that day. I have had emergency situations come up in my life where we had to get to the hospital on multiple occasions. And because I had routine, I was able to manage the emergency situation while grabbing what I needed, tossing on a little, I have done that before. I got a little bit of makeup on before while we were waiting for an ambulance to show up because I had it in routine. It was so quickly done that I was able to get it out of the way and get it handled so I didn't have to worry about what I needed to grab before we left and all of those things. So having some established routines within the context of what we're doing so that we can pull those little pieces out when needed and go faster or go at a normal rate can really make a huge difference. And leaning even further into that, morning and evening routines are incredibly helpful to start your day and to end your day. That is going to allow you to just not have to worry about those things. The way that you wake up until the time you start work, if you have that as a routine, that just makes it easy. You understand the time frame you have to do it in. You understand how you can bump it up if you need to do it in a shorter time frame, but you have that expectation set. Same for the evening. If you have a specific way of having an evening routine of how you're going to cook dinner and then clean up and then watch TV and then do some work and whatever, if you have that, that just makes it easy for your body to take over and allow it to do the work while you're mentally somewhere else, while you're doing mental work, while you're getting ready to do other things. Having a routine sets those expectations and allows you to be able to craft the rest of your days around them because you know how long it's going to take you. You know what to expect. You know how to set things up to make it easy for the rest of the day. Especially with those morning routines, it's so easy to make sure you're getting up and doing specific things like taking care of your dogs and then taking care of your food and then making sure you're brushing your teeth and doing your hair and your makeup and then doing your work. Making sure you have that there. You're not going to miss anything that could then trip you up throughout the course of the day. You're not going to have to stress or struggle to figure out what you're going to do. If you have a routine for how you're picking out your clothing, you don't even have to think about that. It saves you time, effort, and stress and sets you up for a much better day. Evening routines are going to allow you to then come back down from that whatever you've gone through during the day and allow you to get the rest that you're going to need. So having some semblance of a routine in the evening is also incredibly helpful just to kind of bookend your day and to make sure that your brain understands, okay, when we start this process at the beginning of the day, this is how we're doing things. This is how we're getting into it. This is how we're powering up for the day. The end of the day, when you have your routine, it understands, click, oh, day's done. Okay, let's power down a little bit. We're going to get ready for bed. We're going to get ready to not think as much. We're going to get ready for all these things. Now, do I understand that we all have the inability to shut off our brains? Yes, I do. I get that. It's hard to go to sleep at night. I know. But having that routine starts to shut down our bodies just a little bit. So even if they're not completely powering down like we would like, it does start to ramp it down a little bit to make it easier for us to do whatever it is we're going to need to do in the evenings. Morning and evening routines, very, very helpful for me, very helpful for most authors as well. And this is the big one. Lean in for this one. This is going to be one you need to take with you. Ready? When you have ideas, when you have things you need to do, I want you to take a note, but don't take action. This is one of the biggest struggles for authors. We have all these shiny ideas for characters, for books, for marketing, for the things that we're doing, and we try to do them all. And it's overwhelming and it burns people out. So when you have an idea, write it down, get on your phone, take a note, have it somewhere where it can be on your phone, your computer, wherever. You can access it from wherever, whenever, but do not take action on it. Most of the things that you're thinking of don't need to have action taken on it right now. That's one of my big things. When I have an idea, I love to take action and make it happen. I don't need to do something extra right now. I'm already busy. I already have ideas. I already have a book I'm working on. I don't need those ideas right now, but I'll benefit from them later. So understanding you can take a note, but not take action on it until later is a game changer. And if you don't write it down, you're going to forget it. Then you're just going to be stuck in this vicious cycle of hating on yourself because you had ideas, but now you don't remember them. And what were you going to do? And what can you do now? Because now I'm out of ideas and I need write them down. Write them down and take action on them later. Nothing has to be done right this second. And nothing has to be forgotten if you are taking notes and then taking action later on. It is a game changer. It is a mental game changer. Let me tell you, it is such a pressure reliever when you can take those notes and have them for when you need them, but you do not need them right now. Taking the notes is my best habit, the best thing that you could do to make sure that you're getting everything accomplished the way that you need to accomplish it. Drop your questions down below and let me know what are your habits to help you to be a more productive author that have nothing to do with your actual writing process, and follow along for daily videos helping you navigate the world of publishing from your writing to your publishing to your marketing to make this your most profitable author year ever with the least amount of stress and overwhelm on the content you are creating. We'll see you then.